All right, man, what's going on? So, Suffer the Children. You have finally finished Suffer the Children, which was the final episode released before Telltale went derelict in, I think it was October, I believe, or I'm trying to think. See here, it was released in 2018 somewhere, so it's September. Yeah, I think October 2018 was when they went bankrupt, and this came out in September. So this was like a month or so before they declared bankruptcy. So it was kind of like the end of an era, so to speak, because the original team that started the game was gone. The company itself, it was gone. But what had happened was they had partnered with Skybound, which was another company that made the comic books, and Skybound pretty much helped out a ragtag group of executives and individuals who worked on the games from the series. But instead, this time, they didn't have their higher ups telling them what to do. So episodes 3 and 4 kind of felt like giving the inmates the keys to the asylum, so to speak, when it was like they all went rampant. But that's another story. You'll learn about that in about, I don't know, 12 hours from now. It's 1:15 where I'm at, and I think it's 2 o'clock where you're at. So 2:15, so you're probably either at work, sleeping, or jacking off. I don't know what you're doing. Anyway, let me get into real quick. Well, not really real quick. There's a lot to talk about because I got the collectibles, I got the relationship stats, and I got the actual in-game stats to talk about. And so I got a lot of shit to cover, man. So let's just go right into it, man. Let's just go right the fuck into it. And once again, this is gonna be unprofessional as fuck, but you seem to like it. All right. So we get episode 2. Myself and yourself follow the herd. 64% of players told AJ to keep his gun when Lewis asked him or demanded him to give it to him. And not even the players that told AJ to give up the gun were in the minority. People saying nothing were in the minority. Not a whole lot to say here. He was in the wrong, 100%. And you and I called him out on his bullshit, and you're like, no, keep the gun. You need it for protection. So that's pretty much about it. There's not a whole lot to say about this one, except for the fact that, well, it's just like total bullshit how Lewis tried to pull all this bullshit about, he's a murderer or whatnot. Lewis's true colors really bled through in this episode, and I saw him for what he was, a backstabbing weasel, so to speak. No loyalty whatsoever. Tries to act all sensitive and hurt and everything, but nah. His actions hurt us too. I get that they were best friends, but he was a threat to both Lewis and the kids. So that's why you and I did what we did. Let's move on. Yeah. Right down the fucking middle, bro. There's just one of those times, I think this is like the first time it's ever been a dead tie, like a deadlock. 50-50. So half the players told Violet to shoot Lily and got Lewis shot, and half the players told Lewis and Violet to run from Lily and Abel. So I was very curious to see what you were going to do, but the reaction that you gave to slaying Lily was not the one I expected, but very entertaining to watch. Very entertaining to watch. I liked it. I thought it was really funny because it took you a few minutes, man, or not a few minutes. It took you a few seconds for it to click because you didn't recognize the face. I did. And then, bro, I swear, once I saw her, I was like 20, I think 23 or 24 when this first dropped, so it's still fresh in my mind, bro. My blood came to a fucking boil, and all I could think about was killing that bitch. All I could think about was Lee made one mistake in his life. He let her live. So in the end, I also made the wrong choice about Lily. Leaving her on the side of the road was a mercy thing. Because she survived it. She survived the entire time. So you and I were both in the wrong. But now you know what you have to do. You have to right Lee's mistake. And I'm glad that you fell on that side of the line. Because if you would have told Lewis and Valor to run, well, who knows what would have happened. But it's fascinating to know that, yeah, Abel is still alive in my game, even though I tossed into a pack of walkers. If you watch my stream, bro, he did a Lee. He cut his arm off. He got bit, but he cut his arm off. Left arm. Got to it fast enough. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I know I gave you shit for surrendering food to him, but it doesn't matter, bro. He survives that little encounter no matter what you do. Except, in my version, he only has one fucking arm. So I felt like, the odds were at least in my favor, because I feel like I can fight a one-armed guy a little bit better than two arms. And from what I noticed in your stream, he did use both arms to fight you. So in my stream, it was very different. But there's that. So go back and watch my stream, bro. Well, just watch. I know it's long, but go back and look at specific points. I try to be funny, and not really funny, but I try to be talking. I mean, not always talking and not always active, but I try to be somewhat, entertaining to listen to, because it's kind of like, watching, like, a video plus a podcast. So, I'm trying to give you that. Anyway, let's move on to the third choice. Yeah. We were, well, actually, no, we were not in the minority. Because the minority of this one was 2% of players let James throw the rock to distract the walker, which means they let the timer run out. They let the timer expire. They didn't push square and they didn't push circle, kill it or distract it. They let the timer elapse. So that was the minority. We were, well, although we were not in the minority, we were kind of close to it. 6% is pretty fucking low. But, so myself, yourself, and 6% of players killed the walker after James asked you not to. And you and I felt like we're in the right mindset. 93% of players in their hand who spared the walker, honoring James's request. I felt like they were taking in too much of the Kool-Aid, at that point. Oh, this guy saved me. Oh, he's, this good whisperer or whatever. Nah. Apparently, he still harbors ideologies that Alpha and Beta had. That walkers are people, in a sense. Or they sympathize with them. I think it's absolute bullshit, and I think it's fucking stupid that anybody would, in their right mind, would think along those lines. Then again, you're dealing with somebody who's seen a lot of shit and done a lot of shit. So, but I think you and I were correct, man. 6% of players, man. 6%. So you and I were part of the 6% of players. That's incredible. which means 94% of players did something totally different. I don't get it. I really don't fucking get it. Let's move on. Majority of players spent time stargazing with Violet. The other version would be to help Lewis tune the piano. And apparently, people don't like Lewis. Which I get that. I get that entirely. I don't really think they're good together because if you go with Lewis, then the option to romance him becomes available. Which I didn't think you would do that even if you went with him. Which I didn't think you would go with Lewis at all to begin with. And I was right. But I thought that, well, if on the off chance he went with Lewis to try to smooth things over, then I don't think he would, try to get the D, if you know what I mean. But I was curious to see if you were gonna reciprocate Violet's feelings toward her. And you said something about how, well, I want to know how many people, said you had feelings for. Why does that matter, bro? What matters is that you did it. You could have said you're good friends, but you didn't. You didn't. You said you had feelings for her, and then you kissed her. What I did was, I said I had feelings for her, but I hit X instead of a triangle. I said I wanna take things slow. I didn't know about it. I didn't know that was love. I didn't know if it was like some sort of affection, because I don't know what it was. I didn't think it was love, but I knew there was a bond there, and I wanted to try to make it, I guess, not bloom. I wanted to try to, start a spark, so to speak, and try to see what would happen. So, in case you're wondering, I did also, return the feeling, but I didn't kiss her. I said, I want to be slow. I want to be slow about this. I don't know what it is, but I feel something. And she was cool with that. She was just happy that it wasn't just her feeling that way. So I kind of made it more complicated than I really should have oughta, but I didn't know what it was at the time, because although I love them together, they have chemistry together, I didn't want to, I don't know, I just, but I love Vi. I love Vi, and if the opportunity comes again, I will kiss her next time. But yeah, man, when stargazing with oh, fuck you, you fucking battery level low shit. Anyway, let's move on. And then, of course, majority of players saved Violet instead of Lewis. And I know you're thinking, bro, yeah, if you would have saved Lewis, then Violet would have been taken instead. But you would have saved Lewis. So there's no way to save both of them. You had to save one or the other. And for me and you, it was easy. But yeah, it was easy, man. Although Lewis did kind of save Clem from Lily shooting her, I was like, nah. She still deserves to die. Well, not deserves to die, but Violet deserves to be saved over Lewis, because I like Violet a lot more. That's pretty much about it. Those were the 5 choices that the game took into effect. So for me, majority, well, it's not really majority, minority, majority. Although the second one was kind of eh. But there's that. So let's move on, if you will, to the relationships. For Ruby, I left her feeling disgusted because I decided to burn Miss Martin. after I found her. I didn't bury her. I wanted to kind of get Mitch on my side a little bit, so I was like, all right, let's burn it, because number one, it wasn't even a human walker anymore. It was like some kind of organic plant food walker. Not worth burying. Not worth burying at all. It's better just to burn it and just, forget the memory. Just forget it. She's gone. It was a long time ago. She was there for a while at least, probably for at least a good 7 or 8 years. And that was pretty much about it. I think you and I had the same sentences though, because we kind of acted the same way. So pretty much what it was, man, like however you respond to the characters that you have dialogue with, that kind of determines the sentences that kind of appear, or the details underneath the relationships. And the main one is kind of the main choice. Like for Ruby, it was choosing whether or not to burn or bury Miss Martin, the nurse. Whereas I left her feeling disgusted, you left her feeling grateful. So I was in the minority, but I didn't really care about Ruby, and I kind of liked Mitch because I liked his attitude. So that's why I went that route. Moving on. About damn near everybody had Lewis kidnapped. Conflicted, discouraged, and discarded. Those were his adjectives, pretty much. 85%. Not a whole lot to say there. If you would have saved him over Violet, he would have been guilt-ridden. But we did not save him, so he is kidnapped. Gone forever. Or dead, who knows. Moving on. Lily. I left her feeling unimpressed. She had no respect or admiration or feelings for me whatsoever. Whereas you left her feeling unsettled for what you did. I don't know what determines what changes her outcome, but she was not impressed with me whatsoever. But to be honest, bro, I wasn't looking for her, her gratitude or whatever. I called her an evil bitch. I was like, I don't give a fuck who you are, you evil bitch. And I didn't have her. I didn't take her hand. So where you had them feeling unimpressed, I left them feeling unimpressed. You had her feeling unsettled. So I was in the minority, but you were also in the middle. The majority of players left her feeling unconvinced. I guess the majority of players tried to befriend her and tried to get her to see, hey, you and I used to be close. We didn't do that. I think maybe it's because I tried to attack her too many times. That's why she was unimpressed with me, but you did too. So I don't know what changed. Or what changes. Maybe it's because you said, do it already, instead of, I'll see you in hell. That's probably what it is. I don't know. Well, whatever. Violet, she could have been vengeful or kidnapped. So, bro, I'm glad that you saved her over Lewis, because if you didn't, Violet would have been gone. And I'd rather Violet be around than Lewis. She was relieved, and she was also exhilarated when I confessed my feelings for her. So yeah, I did the same. So yeah, here, man, I followed you. You and I did the same thing. I confessed feelings for her, but I wasn't quite as, rushing into it as you were, which is fine. But I admitted that there was something there. Something. I don't know what it was, but it's there. It's there. But that was the same, pretty much. Mitch. He's dead no matter what. Just like Brody and Marlon, he dies no matter what in episode 2. he was exasperated when you told him to wash his mouth on the funeral. Which, it's kind of cute watching you look up words you don't know the definition to, which is what I do. Trust me, that's what I do. And then he was also affirmed by my decision to help him burn the walker. And in doing so, I kind of got him to flip the vote a little bit. I was like, hey, I'll tell everyone that I changed my mind about you. I'll let them know you helped me or whatever. So I kind of had him on my side. So, and then 10, I left him feeling ashamed. But goddamn sure I was gonna let him feeling ashamed after what he did. It was either ashamed or despondent, and I think you and I left him feeling the same. We were in the minority, bro. Majority of players told 10 to don't listen to Lily when she was talking to 10. But you and I took the shot or said shut up, Lily. So there's that. Moving on. Oh yeah, Abel is captured. I impressed him when I taunted Lily was shooting me. Huh, interesting. I didn't know about that. I actually had no idea about that, as a matter of fact. Huh. I didn't know that Abel would think about that, actually. Interesting. Alright, cool. And then for James, I was in the minority. I left him feeling trusted because I got some sleep around him instead of helping keep watch. I also made him attentive when I said I was originally from Georgia. So he was, very, very attuned to that. He was attuned to where I was from. And you and I left him feeling justified, bro. 31% of players. I also let him go on patrol, man. Instead of getting in the bed with me, I said, go ahead. Do it, man. So I kind of wish you did that instead, but I'm glad that you gave him dibs on killing Abel. And stayed at school pretty much like yours, man. Omar, Asim, and Lewis were kidnapped. And Rosie was loyal to me after I petted her in the courtyard. And Willie was thrilled when I chose his log trap to defend against the Raiders. So. And then, those are the collectibles. So a boar skull, a mushroom, and a Venus flytrap. So that's it, man. So we're at 23 minutes. Not a whole lot to discuss, but then again, I'm not really in a... Well, I've had a few beers. Early morning drinking. I kind of started Memorial Day a little early. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to edit this and process it and upload it, and then hopefully you'll watch it before 1 a.m. Alright? And let me think here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should tell you. Yeah. In episode 3, collectibles, they go back to 6. There are 6 collectibles in Progan Toys. So I may send you a message about that, but if you don't hear from me, there's 6 of them. All right. I'm super excited for you to play episode 3. I know for a fact that you are gonna love it, because I call this the revival episode, because this was like the episode where it was a new group of people making it. It just felt different, But I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm gonna process this shit, and I'll leave you to it. Alright, bro. I will speak to you later. Thank you for listening to me rant and mumble and grumble about this fucking awesome game. Peace.